Stampers, Deb Valder here, your Fun Stampers Journey Coach, and today I'm going to bring you this fun little fold card. It's going to be using one of our Farmyard stamp sets, and it's just a really neat little folded card. You see that? Super easy. I've done cards like this where they open up and they are folded like this, but we're going to do it this way so that you can actually take and stand it on your desk, and it just is like a little frame. It's so cute, but so very, very easy. All right, so let's get started. We're going to start with our base card, which is our Fresh Sage card. We're going to fold it in half. I got to find my bowling folder here. Let me just grab that and fold like that. Now we're going to take the top piece and we're going to fold it to the bottom. All right, and I will have the measurements for this on my blog, so make sure you head on over to my blog for those measurements. All right, so that is the base card. Very, very simple. All right, now the next layer, we're going to work from the bottom up. So the next layer is actually a piece of our designer paper, and it is from the Good Life packages of paper. Let me just grab that and show it to you. I've been using this a lot. This is the Good Life prints, and we're going to be using the little chicken wire one, which is on the back of the ones with the chicken and hens, or the chickens, the roosters, and the hens, all of them. All right, so that's going to be the piece that's going to go right here. But before we add that, I want to do something that I did to this card, and that is to put some of our little background on there. And we're going to do that with our haystack ink. And let me just show you the stamps that we're going to be using today. So we're going to be using this little ATS called Honeycomb. We're going to be using Farmyard Friends, and I've been using that a lot. You've seen me doing a couple of videos with this one. So this is Farmyard Friends, all right? And I've also got the dies to go along with it. It is a bundle, and I've packaged them into my Journey storage system so that I can cut things, I can store things. I put my extra cutouts inside there. I love the storage system. And then the Canvas Prints is the piece that we're going to use right now. It is a background stamp, and I'm going to use that with the haystack. I've also brought in the Mystic Fern die, and we're going to just use that as an embellishment. I love this little die right here, and I do cut out extras when I'm cutting things out so that I have them, store them in my Journey pouches, and they're good to go. And then another background die that I'm going to be using is one of our new ones, and you can tell that because we've got our new logo on there, is the grid paper. Love it, absolutely love it, and it just lends itself to this stamp. All right, so here is our background paper. I'm going to bring in the canvas die, or I'm sorry, the canvas background stamp, and I'm just going to ink it up. Now on my original card that I showed you, or on my other card that I showed you right here, it's the same thing. I didn't use the whole background, and the way I got that look was to just take your paper, lay it down, and this one does have a pattern, so you want to make sure that it's pretty straight, and then just touch it here and there. You don't want the whole thing. Normally I'm yelling at you not to just put your hands on it like this because you don't get an even stamp. So what you want to do for this one, because we don't want the even stamp, is to just press it. If I was doing it, I would make you do the flat of your hand like that. So now what I'm going to do is just take a scrap piece of paper and then lift up my paper, and you see how it's got it on there, but it doesn't have it on there. And then if you find a spot you still want to get inked up, you can just lay it back down again. All right, so you just find a spot and you can just add a little bit more here and there. All right, so let's put the ink back onto our stamp pad. We've got this layer done, so we can actually layer this on here with our Easy Glide. Remember, when you're using your Easy Glide, you don't want to just lift it up. You want to take and just slide it to the right or the left, and that breaks the little lines that are in there, and you have a perfect glue. All right, we're going to add that to the back piece right here. All right, so there's our back piece right there. Now I want to work on this little piece right here. So I'm going to grab, now there's two, I was telling the gals the other night, there's two pieces of paper. You want to make sure you have the right one for each of them. So I believe this one is the right one for this one, and this one is the right one for this one. There is only a 1/4 of an inch difference, and that's why I said that. So make sure when you're making these and you're using the measurements from my blog, make sure you have the right piece of paper. I am going to bring in some scrap paper because we are going to stamp off, and I don't want to get that onto my table. All right, so I'm going to bring in my scrap paper right here, and I'm going to bring in this little piece of paper right here. The first thing that I'm going to do, and there is no first or second, you can do it in either order, but is to bring in this little stamp right here, and we're going to bring in another one of our new colors. It's called Tin Pail, and we're going to ink this one up with the Tin Pail. All right, and then I'm going to move this over here like this. I'm going to take my grid paper, lay this on here. Now this is one that I do want to have it covered completely, so I'm going to show you the difference. Now the other one I would just go like this. That's the one I did with the haystack. But with the Tin Pail, I want the whole thing to be covered. So I'm going to use the flat of my hand to make sure that it's all done evenly. All right, and there is my little Tin Pail. Such a pretty stamp. All right. And now we're going to take our fresh sage, we're going to take our honeycomb stamp, and we're just going to stamp up randomly. All right, I like to bring the ink to the stamp, then I can see and make sure it's all inked up really good. All right, so I'm just going to stamp it there, and then I'm going to stamp it here on the other side. All right, there, just random. All right. Okay, so there's all of those, and now what I'm going to do, that's done. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to take and I'm going to adhere that with my Easy Glide. All right, remember, just, you don't want to flick it, you want to just rock it, all right? And you will have this rocked. All right, so now I'm just going to take that to the front piece right here. All right, so there's that one. And you'll see that this lines up evenly with this one right here. All right, so the measurements, when you go to my blog, the measurements are going to be amazing. All right, so there's that. Now what we're going to do is I'm going to show you how to adhere this piece right here. So I've got the measurements on my blog. You're going to run over there. You're going to get those, and you're going to do a bunch of these because they are so adorable and so very, very easy. All right, so let's grab our bone folder and just fold these really crisply. All right, now what I want you to do, this is actually the front of the card right here. So what I want you to do is not to put adhesive on anything except this piece right here for right now. So I'm just going to take, I want to put kind of a lot, because remember this is a movable card. You can also use your white liner tape. But now what I'm going to do, there's no adhesive anyplace else except for this little guy right here. I'm going to take and I'm going to make sure that this piece is on the front and this piece is underneath. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to line this up so that it is even. Let me just get it on there. Okay. It's even this way, this way, this way, and this way. And then I'm going to press it down. You'll see that this little divide, or this little fold is on the inside, and this little fold is going to bring this one to the top right here. Now that I have this on here, now I'm going to lift this up and just put some adhesive right here. All right, you don't want to do it any other way, because if you do, you're going to end up putting too much on this right here because you don't know where to stop. All right, and then you're going to end up gluing this to this, and you don't want that to happen. So we're going to take and just adhere this down. See, now when you're gluing this, you can actually tell where to stop over here, tell where to stop over here, and you can just kind of eyeball this piece if you want to put some right down there. You're only going to have but a bit showing. All right, so there we go. There's that piece, and now you've got your little mechanical card. It folds nice and evenly, it folds nice and flat, and it pops out so that now you have, we've got to get some more embellishments on here so it doesn't tip over, but once it's got the embellishments on the front here, it holds up, and you've got this little easel card for your desk. All right, so there's that. Now let's work on this piece right here. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to switch out the words. I'm not going to use Simply Blessed. I'm going to take these off, and I'm going to put on, let me just show you. Now, let me just explain something about our, oh, it's downstairs, I can't, so I've got to use Simply Blessed. I want to show you something about our stamps, okay? If you take our stamps, They are already, there's no additions to it. You don't have to put the words, you don't have to put the images on here. They are actually on the rubber itself. So when you go to adhere this to a block, the block, it just clings to the block. It's just amazing, just like that. And then you also have our grid lines for our blocks. The product in Fun Stampers Journey are unbelievable. They are just amazing, and you're gonna love them. So we're gonna go with the Simply Blessed because I left the other one downstairs, so we are just going to, it's okay. We're gonna use this and all is good. All right, so let's just make sure we've got the right piece because I've got a couple of them going here, and I do. So I'm gonna take my black licorice ink, which is right here. And I'm gonna take my Simply Blessed and I'm gonna put that up here on the top because we got a lot of stuff going on the bottom. All right, now we're gonna take our splashes. You always wanna make sure you shake them up, and because all of that sparklies are on the bottom, you wanna make sure that you get all that sparkly nice and shaken up, shook up, shake up, shook up. All right, very good. All right, now we're just gonna take and we're going to splat them. You can color with these, you can take and you can paint with these, or you can just splat. There's so many things you can do with these silks, and they come in so many different colors. These are our 2 new colors that I just adore. 6 new colors, love, love, love them. Okay, and we got a lot of embellishments that match these colors. They're fantastic. So if you find yourself in a pickle where you want way too much, contact me and you can join my team and get everything at a discount. That's what I joined for, and now I am just going full guns. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my little fern. I did that in the haystack. I'm going to add just a little bit, not a lot, because other things are going to actually hold it on. All right, so here's this. Add that to that. And then, actually what I'll do is I'll add it to this card right now, just to give it a little bit more substance. I'm going to do that with my Easy Glide. See, and I'm just going off to the side, and that's going to get glued and centered right onto this. See, now the embellishments are making it so it's a little bit heavier on the front, so that when you open it up and stand it on your desk or your counter or wherever you're gonna, it's starting to hold a little bit more. We got to get the cow on there. The cow is the one that's the heavy guy. All right, so I took the liberty of cutting him out ahead of time. I stamped him with the sage. I used one of the dies. It was the cow die, and I cut him out. I'm gonna put some foam squares on him, and we're gonna pop up his little butt and his little head, and we're good to go. Okay, so there's that. I'm going to lay him right here. I want to cover up the bottom of that fern. Okay, so there's that. And the next thing that we're going to do is we're going to take and put our little bow right there. So I'm going to take some of our new cotton thread. Okay, this is the Peaches and Cream. I'm going to make one of our finger bows. Make sure you watch my video on the finger bow by Deb Valder, and it just shows you how. That's my 3rd one. So I'm going to grab my Grand Pro shears here and cut the stuff off and just finish up my bow. So easy. Watch that video and you're good to go. All right, the tricky part is this last one. Just make sure you pull up. Okay, nice and tight. Slide it off your fingers. I'm going to trim off these little guys right here. These are just the end pieces. And just kind of fluff. We can do that while it's on here. I usually use the liquid glue, but because I want to show you a couple of things at the end, I'm going to use one of our Journey dots. All right, both of them will hold just as well, but I'm just a big fan of this Journey craft glue. Alrighty. All right, so we're going to add that right there. Okay, and then last but not least, we're going to take some of our little new pearls. I'm going to grab my little bloom tool here, and I think I'll do just randomly put a couple of them on there. So pretty. And that is how easy this card is. I want you to jump over to my blog and get the measurements for this. Oh, no, you know what? I'm going to put another piece of paper on the inside, and then I have a place to write my little sentiment or to add another little sentiment. So I can either write in here. So I can actually add another piece right here too. But for this one, I'm just going to add it right here. Okay. And then our card is complete. Isn't that adorable? So pretty. I hope you liked my post for today. Make sure you subscribe to my Instagram account. Make sure you subscribe to my YouTube, which is what you're on right now. There is a subscribe button right below there, and then there's a little bell right next to that. Click on that little bell, and every time I do a video, you will get notification of that. My one-stop shop is my blog, because that has everything on it. It has my YouTube videos, it has my the card pictures, it has my Instagram account, it has my shop. Any of these products that you want to purchase, you can do that in my online store. And I do appreciate you keeping me in business when I do my videos. So thank you for all of your orders. You take care, have a great day, and thank you for stopping by.